Facts about nature's wonders that will take your breath away. 1. African buffalo herds make decisions by voting. Apparently, democracy isn't limited to humanity. For example, African buffalo herds are known to select the direction they'll travel by voting. One by one, the adult females of the herd will stand up, look in a particular direction, and then lay back down. Whichever direction gets the most looks is almost always where the herd travels. If voting is strongly divided, the herd will often split up temporarily. Red deer and numerous kinds of monkeys display similar democratic behavior. 2. The Lowe's pitcher plant is a toilet and food source all in one. You've probably heard of carnivorous plants like the Venus flytrap, but the Nepenthes loei, or the Lowe's pitcher plant, has moved away from eating animals, to instead feasting on what they leave behind. The plant secretes a white, sugary nectar that both birds and shrews love. But in order to access it, they must perch their rear ends over the mouth of the Lowe's pitcher plant. Basically, it's a toilet complete with a feeding station, said one researcher at Royal Roads University in British Columbia. 3. Bats save us billions of dollars a year. Bats tend to get a bad rap. The truth is, they gobble up lots of troublesome insects. In fact, they're so good at keeping pests away from our food crops that they save U.S. farmers alone at least $3.7 billion on pesticides every year. So bats are actually a significant factor in our agricultural economy. 4. Our brains are shrinking. Fossil evidence shows us that, over the past 10,000 years, the average human brain has shrunk about the size of a tennis ball. But that doesn't mean we're any less intelligent. Our smaller brains are probably more efficient, particularly since most of us live in settled societies and don't need to constantly be on the lookout for predators. So don't worry too much, your own brain is probably just fine. 5. More male giraffes are gay than straight. Scientists say that homosexual activity among male giraffes is more common than heterosexual activity. In one study from Tanzania published in Biological Exuberance, 94% of all observed mounting activity was same-sex. 6. Our galaxy is set to collide with the Andromeda galaxy. Our galactic home, the Milky Way, is on an inevitable collision course with our nearest neighbor, the Andromeda galaxy. Stars, including our Sun, will smash into one another and orbits will fly out of whack. The chaos will go on for some time, but eventually, everything will settle down and the two galaxies will merge into one huge elliptical galaxy. Don't lose any sleep over this eventuality, though, it won't happen for another 3.75 billion years. 7. You'll grow nearly 600 miles of hair in your lifetime. The average person will grow 590 miles of hair in their lifetime, according to The Express. Presumably this is cumulative of each hair on your body laid end to end. Nose hairs alone contribute 6.5 feet of the total. 8. Dementors exist in nature. Well, sort of. In 2015, scientists in Thailand discovered a new species of wasp with a horrifying method of killing their prey. The wasps inject venom into cockroaches to paralyze them, so that they can drag the roach back to their lair and begin to feast while the roach is still alive. To find a name for this wasp, the scientists looked to the Harry Potter universe, in which Dementors punish their victims by sucking the souls out of their still-living bodies. And thus, the Dementor wasp was born. 9. The king's holly plant reproduces by cloning. Most plants reproduce by mixing the genetic matter of two or more plants. But that's not true of a lomatia plant called king's holly. To reproduce, the plant simply drops its own branch, which will form its own root system and become its own plant, but with identical DNA to the parent plant. Unfortunately, it's difficult for these plants to form defenses against diseases and predators without mixing genetic material. So, as a result, king's holly, which exists only in Tasmania, is critically endangered. 10. Saturn could float on water. Size has nothing to do with buoyancy. Take a giant iceberg, for example. It's less dense than what's underneath it, so it's able to sit on top of the water. Gas, too, has a substantially lower density than liquid, including water. So, even though Saturn is the second biggest planet in our solar system, because it's made up almost entirely of gas and ice, the planet could actually float in water. Good luck finding a bathtub big enough to test this out though.